Alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Amma barakum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Almighty, accepts our good and forgives our evil and protects us from kulli su wa makruh. May Allah bless us all with ikhlas wa thabat ala sunnati nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. May Allah rectify our condition and affairs and forgive us and bless us to exalt Him and bless us to stay firm on His deen. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Ahabati fillah. The dunya, this life, can be imprisoning. And, you know, as the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam said, a dunya sijnu mu'min, and it's a jannat al-kafir. A dunya sijnu mu'min, jannat al-kafir. This life, it's a prison for the believer. And it's the paradise for the disbeliever. We need to reflect absolutely on the value of Islam, on the value of our Islam, the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guided you. For those who didn't, who embraced Islam, and those who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala favored to be born Muslim, we all receive this ni'am from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a great ni'mah from Allah when we reflect. But a lot of times we may feel that, and we have to know and acknowledge that that's the truth. Because the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said it, that this life is, although it has delights, that it is also a prison for the believer. It's also a prison for the believer. Because there are many things which we may find in accordance with our desires and our delights that we can't indulge in. But one of the things I do want to emphasize is never to despair at the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and don't make your life boring. Sometimes we do have to take chances so we can enjoy the delights that are mubah, that are permissible, and those things which are halal and that we can enjoy. So as a believer in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, although as the Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam very clearly let us know that it is a prison for the believer, that is in part because we have to refrain from a lot. Our desires, we can't just chase our desires and indulge in any and everything. That the mu'min, he or she has to be cautious of what they involve themselves in. That there's many things which are to the delight and the end all for many, which the believer cannot indulge in. For example, our vain desires as far as zina, fornication, and, you know, just enjoying those things we can't indulge in. Muharram, impermissible for us. But rather, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us a mashru' way, because Allah created us. He knows that we have physical and mental desires for companionship and spiritual needs. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the halal through marriage. And Allah has given us so many other beautiful things that we can indulge in, we can enjoy, that are permissible ways of relieving stress. We don't need drugs and alcohol, whereas others, they drink as they will, they smoke as they will, they indulge as they will. Jannat al-Kafir, they go with their desires, YOLO, you live only once. That's their philosophy, that's their ideology, that's their lifestyle, but not for the mu'min. So ultimately, the believer has to remember, as the Prophet ﷺ said in another hadith, that paradise is surrounded by karahiyah, by those things which are, you know, disliked, or they're difficult. And it's not that we dislike the salat, but it is there's a mushakka, there's a type of difficulty to pray 5 times a day and organize your time schedule and your time frame and Jumu'ah. All of this takes mushakka. Now, in the locality I'm at, Fajr is very early, you know, it's comes in literally at like 3:30, 3:27 a.m. and Isha comes in almost at 11. So there's, if you are a praying Muslim, there's almost no way you're going to get more than what, 4 or 5 hours possibly of sleep. So there's, all of us would like to sleep in, all of us would like to get our beauty rest, so to speak. But however, that mushakka, that difficulty, pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it's not something we can't do, and it's not extreme, but rather there's tension, there's a little bit of difficulty. Difficulty, not only comes relief, but comes immense reward. With the difficulty comes immense reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is the shan of the mu'min. This is the shan or affair of the mu'min, that he or she gains the reward of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's why it is this life is a sijin, you know, it's a prison of the believer, and it is a paradise of the disbeliever. This is all they get. This is all they're going to taste as far as pleasure, because in the hereafter of the khasirin, they'll be finished. They'll be suffering. Wa'iyadun billah wa iyyakum. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Almighty, accept our good, forgive our evil, bless us with ikhlas, with thabat. Wa sallallahu wa sallam ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam.